Hello and welcome into the Piles of Paragraphs creative space. I'm Lori and today I'm going to continue with my Assemble It August project of making a piano hinge journal that's in a box. Last time we went through how I made the box, and this time I'm going to take you through how I make the hinges. And little hinge bracket sort of little things that I use for these. So to start with, I got some, I'm using the brown paper from Amazon boxes, or whatever, chewy boxes, whatever. And I took some sheets and cut them to fit my box, which in this case is, let's see, these are, yes, these are a little bit oversized. I trimmed these after I made them. What I did was it's the width of the paper and glued it, folded it over, glued it to itself using some PVA glue. PVA glue is really nice. Liquid glue goes on pretty easily, but it also stays very flexible. And flexibility is the key, one of the keys to this particular journal make. So when you make your strips, just make sure they will fit down inside your box. So these, just make sure they will fit down inside the box when they're done. So these, and I cut them in half. So my strips are about roughly 3 inches, because that was a good depth. One of the important parts of this is that you have enough space in this to put whatever sort of element you're going to use to hold it up with. In my case, it's the bamboo straws, and I have 2 slightly different sizes of bamboo straws. The narrower ones I bought at I call the Japanese dollar store, Daiso, that I have near my house, although the last few times I've been there they don't have these anymore, so I ordered some from Amazon, and these are the same length, but they are bigger around, and that's not really a problem. You just have to make sure you have enough space when you fold this over that you can get a good seal here and still have room for this to move. You don't want it to be so tight on there that it doesn't have any give to it. So I'll use the larger of these 2. I also took a strip of cardstock. You could use file folder. This is it's marked heavyweight cardstock from Hobby Lobby, I think is where I got this. This is just something to add a little bit of extra strength to the finished hinge. So let me go ahead and do this. Let me grab a piece of glue paper so I can try not to get glue everywhere. I keep taking that out, but I really do want that to be in there. And so once again, I'm going to be using my art glitter glue. You can use any kind of glue you want. It is very helpful to have a fine tip, because in this one, I'm going to make sure I glue the sides quite thoroughly. But because we're going to be cutting a slot in this, I kind of just keep the glue around the edges and not where I'm going to be cutting the slot for the little journals to fit into. So glue on the sides, grab my pen and put it back in my glue bottle. bone folder is also helpful to have handy. And match this up. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, it's nice to have it kind of a neat edge on the bottom. You can trim it a little tiny bit if you need to, or not if that having it uneven doesn't bother you. Okay, so you want to burnish that down really well. Don't really want to make a hard crease in it, but kind of that soft crease is right. Make sure your straw still spins and slides in and out. Okay, and then you let that dry. Of course, I live here in the desert, so it doesn't take very long for these to dry. But in order to facilitate our progress, I've already glued some together here. And you will need, let's see, I'm going to have 4 straws, so I need to have 5 of these pieces. Okay. So, show you the next step. Oops. Oop. Oh, if I can find it. Oh dear, I've misplaced my template. Well, that's no fun. I know I put it in here. Oh, golly. Okay, well, I will just show you what I did. Okay. Oh, a template really is helpful for these, but you can use the individual ones just to make sure you get the holes punched in the same place. And this is ultimately what we're going to be creating, so I can kind of use this as a template. I don't know where my template went. Okay. And a pencil. And we'll need I use a hole punch. You don't have to have a hole punch. I just found it kind of an easy way to start the holes for the slot. So I go in about, I don't know how far is that. Where's my ruler? Not too far. I mean, you want, ultimately, the journal you're going to put in here is going to be 6 inches. So you've got to be, you know, at least 1/6 and 1/8 inch wide. So I go in about, what is this, about probably a little less than a 1/2 inch for where the hole starts. So roughly, because that's how much extra you have on the sides of your strips, depending on how big yours are. You do just want to have a little bit here to help hold your journal in and to be good and secure. So go ahead and mark this the outside for where I want my hole to start. And yeah, I should also mark the base. The template that I made for myself and then put somewhere else is just a strip of paper, and so that makes it a little bit easier because then it just fits on this part. So if you want to make one of your own, that's the way, that's my suggestion anyway. So let's go ahead and line this up. Goodness, somebody on the street has a new car or a new car alarm, because that's the 2nd time today it's gone off. It went off this morning when the street sweeper went by. So I think they must have it set rather sensitive. Okay. And these don't have to be perfect. You know, I'm a big-ish person, so you know they'll hang. It's a little bit forgiving, so they'll hang kind of straight. These out of the way. Get this out of the way. That's long enough. use my 8-inch ruler for this. And let's see. Oh, I apologize. I put all my tools away so that my workspace would look neat. And then I didn't have out the stuff that I needed, so there you go. Okay. So I usually line up my ruler just slightly below the top of the where I did the hole punch. Take my box knife and then kind of just gently slice. Be careful you don't overshoot the second hole you have here. Usually by the third slice you go right through, because you are going through a double thickness of the brown paper and that lightweight cardstock, or no, heavyweight cardstock. It's not really very heavy, but it was marked heavyweight cardstock. And for this one, I come up just inside the hole that I've got punched, and then we do the same thing. Slice. Just a third time for good measure. And then there you go. Then you've got your slot for your journal. And the journal just slips right in there. Oops. Oh, maybe I didn't cut this one long enough. There we go. Oh, I guess I didn't. Oh my goodness. See, this is what happens when you don't measure. Oh, there we go. It was all in the angle. I was going to say, I know it worked. I know it worked before. So anyway, so it just slides in there like that. And then for the tabs, since this is like 6 7/8 inches long, and you need to always have an odd number of tabs, and I chose 7. You could do 3. 3 might make it a little wobbly. 5. You could do 9. You know, as long as it's an odd number, it'll work out when you put the when you put it together with the other sleeves. So, because this does not work out to any sort of even close to a really even sort of easy number, and I really, really hate to measure, I just kind of do the ish. And I think it's maybe, you know, 7/8 wasn't quite right, but it's less than an inch. But more than 7/8, roughly. But like I said, ish is good for this. That will definitely work. So my little marks on there, and then I just take a regular pair of scissors and I make a slit. I don't go down into the part that I have glued for that. So go in, you know, probably about, what is that? A half an inch-ish? Probably less than half an inch. It's right at about half an inch. And once again, I'm doing this trying not to put a hard crease in my in the top of my sleeve here, but it the world does not end if you put a hard crease in, because they come back out. Now that we have them cut like this, it's really, really hard to feed your straw back through. So that's where the little triangles cut out came from, because that makes it a whole lot easier. Now I also don't measure this. I just kind of do this by eye. It's, you know, like 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch, just so that you get a little bit of an angle on the edges of the tabs. You certainly are welcome to measure if you'd like. you know, you do you, I do me. Just, you know, not that, doesn't have to be that precise, just ish. And of course my angles don't match because I'm just eyeballing it. And if that bothers you, by all means, please measure and cut accordingly, because you certainly can do that and have them be just pretty close to perfect. But you know, it's a handmade item, and so this is why I could never be a quilter, because like this, just not in me to be that precise. Okay. That one. Oops. I have to be careful I don't get too excited by the end. I always tend to want to make the V much wider at the end. I don't know why. In a hurry to be done, I think. So, got that. Got all these little bits on your desk to get rid of. Put those in my trash can. And then just to make sure everything works. Yeah, see, it's a lot easier to slide your straw back through with the angled edges. And of course, this is not going to be the final step for this, but just to give you the idea there. Then we've got a couple of those made. Like I said, you will need to have one more sleeve than what you have as far as your straw supports, so that way you don't end up with an end that's floppy. So that's the way you do that. So let's see about getting these done. I should have done these in advance, shouldn't I? So we'll go through them again. See, this is when, if I really knew how to edit my videos, this would be kind of a handy time to do it, I guess, wouldn't it? Feel free to fast forward if you'd like. Hopefully it won't take me that long to make these. The process overall is not a terrible one. It is a little fiddly, but I think the end result is very much worth it. Also, you don't probably have to use a whole bunch. This is like the standard size, like school notebook kind of paper punch, but you probably could use a slightly smaller one. Let's see. Let's do all these steps at once. And I'm just kind of, once again, just sort of eyeballing the center here for my, or I'm going to go back and put my cuts in. The project that I saw that led me down this this rabbit hole of creating. I saw at this wonderful shop in Maryland, which sadly is no longer there, called the Queen's Ink, and they had a absolutely gorgeous piano hinge journal in a cigar box, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. But sadly wasn't going to be there for any of the classes that they had. So I came home and started doing all this research on making piano hinge journals, and I found a couple videos online, and so traditional piano hinge journals don't use this sort of, you know, I call it my sleeve, but I didn't really care for how stiff the journals were to use when this was part of the journal covers rather than a little sleeve for the journals to fit in. So this is kind of my interpretation of a piano hinge journal, rather than the traditional sense. I thought back to the days when we used to have magazines, and they had these plastic things, or metal things, I think they were plastic though, that held your magazines into a 3-ring binder, and so you could store them more easily. And so they basically, they were like this, but they were made out of plastic, and of course much bigger, because, you know, couldn't fit a magazine in this. But that was the thought process behind this particular design change. So I wanted you to be able to take the little books in and out for ease of use, so that if you wanted to collage or journal, or do an art journal and, you know, sketch or whatever, you could use this idea, and it would make it a little bit more end user friendly. A bit more work on the front side, but I think it's worth it. To laugh, one of my friends at the retreat said I have an engineer brain. Now, truly nothing could be farther from the truth, but I do like to build things, and I like to figure things out, and this is just kind of right up my street. Now, I'm terrible, like, with origami. Like, I cannot get my brain around that. My husband can fold things beautifully. No can do that. But this I can do. The shop that I mentioned in Maryland that is no longer there, I think they have an online presence now. I know they do. And I know they have some online classes. I don't know if their piano hinge journal is one of them or not. I apologize, I can't remember right now. That was a wonderful store, and I love to visit there whenever I go back to Maryland to see my cousins. So, because we don't really have any stores like that where I live, at least not that I've found. We have some stuff that, you know, places that have great stuff, like the Art Resource Center has fabulous stuff, but not the classes and things like that they had at the Queen's Ink. Okay, less talking and more doing, right? Let's get this going. Probably if I had my sharper, pointier scissors, this would be better. But I think they are downstairs, or still packed from my retreat, because I have not yet unpacked all my my arty supplies from my retreat, because I've been doing other stuff. Some more rust-dyed fabric, which I hope to get in my Etsy shop soon. Along with a couple of these journals to be my Etsy shop. I've got one in there right now. I hope to get a couple more of them in shop. Hopefully by the time I get through with this series, there'll be some in my shop. If you want to buy one instead of make one. Oh, the ladies at the retreat were absolutely insistent that I make this tutorial, so I hope somebody enjoys it, and I would appreciate your feedback. Oopsie, yeah, too much chatting, not enough being careful there. That's okay. I know this is not a project probably for everybody, but if it's something that interests you, I think you'll really enjoy it. It's the end product is very much worth all of the fiddliness. Oh, all this mess. Okay, just keep going. Okay, forgive me my paper crumbs all over my desk. I really do have the overwhelming urge to always stop and clean those up. Okay, this one's trimmed. Okay, excuse me a second. Getting a cramp in my hand from holding the scissors like that. Okay. Alrighty. Concentrate now because my hand's starting to hurt. Okay. One more to go. 2, 4. That's 5. I guess it's good for me to do this. It gives you an idea of about how long it takes to do this particular stage of the journal. It's not a huge investment in time, but it takes a while. I spent probably 30 or 45 minutes gluing sheets of this brown paper together this morning so I could make these hinges. Then it's the cutting and then the gluing, and then you have to let them dry, and so it's a bit of work. Okay. This one. Okay, now we got that stage done. I have to clean this part up. Sorry. It's really, really unlike me, but that, I don't know why, but that really bothers me. So anyway, there we go. And now half of it is in my lap, but that's okay. Okay, since we're done gluing and cutting, let's put this, let me knock everything over on my desk. Clean up a little bit. Okay, let's put that away so I don't lose it. Let me put that in there so the cat doesn't get it. Okay, and we'll go ahead and line these out. You actually don't need to cut a slit in the fifth one, because I usually just trim it off, but we'll leave it on there for now just as a demonstration. So we've got 5 of these. We're going to use 4 straws. So you want to take these, put them together, then you're going to go every other. So like this one you want to fold out, this one you want to fold out, this one you want to fold out, this one you want to fold out. See, so every other one you fold kind of the opposite direction, so you can line your straw up to go through 2 of the, let's see, this one. So it's kind of, it's like weaving but with a stick. And then, oops. And then this, then you take the next one, line it up, and this one goes out, this one will go out, this one goes out, this one will go out. And you start at the end again. Oops. That one goes out, that one goes in, sorry. Oop. Is that not one I want to go through there? Oh. Let's see. Does not want to go through there. Let me just do this just for the sake of time. We'll just do the smaller straw, because I know it'll fit through here really easily. Oopsie. This is hard to do this up in the air to show you guys how to do it. Usually I have it kind of right in front of my nose, but you start in the end so that you always have a solid end on your, oh my goodness. This really doesn't want to, you know, if you wanted to use a chopstick to make this journal too, that's also a little bit easier because their ends are tapered. Oh my goodness, okay. Trust me, this is easier than I'm making it look. Okay, this one goes here. Oh gosh, okay. It's just getting the edges lined up so it goes through, and I kind of mashed these when I cut my slots. Okay. Oh, believe me when I tell you this really does work, and it's not this hard. Okay. There you go. Okay, and then there we go. So now we got 2. We've got 2 of the straws in. Hopefully this next one will be less painful. Let's see. Let's just go with the, I'm just going to go with the narrower straws just because I'm struggling. And so start with this one. See, I really did smash these, so that's why I'm struggling so much. There we go. And then we'll go through this one. Yes, to stop holding it up in the air because that's not working. Oh, gracious. There we go. All right. Yes, I know it probably makes better viewing if I don't struggle when I do these kind of things, but you know, if you've watched me for very long, you know, with me, you get the real me. Struggles and all. Come on. Yeah, I know you'll go through there. As I said, this is a bit fiddly, but it's worth it. And I'm sure you guys are probably all sitting there saying, oh, if you just do this, it would be easier. Yep. I'm sure there's an easier way. There we go. So now we have our three straws in here. We have one more strip to add. Okay. Let's start here. There. Okay. My brain says it will be easier if I hold it up in the air. My brain is lying to me. Okay. Oops. There we go. Alrighty. Let's see. Here. I do have a dowel handy. Maybe that'll make it a little easier. I mashed that one completely. There we go. Okay. Yes, if I had taken the time to really fold those out, that also makes it a little bit easier to fold them out of your way. Okay. Well, I know what's going to go in there. I promise you it's worth it. I promise. It really, really is. Okay. Well, I never said this was an easy project. And that was part of the reason the ladies at the retreat had to work so hard to convince me to do the tutorial, because I usually like to do much simpler things on my channel so that everybody can play. And like I said before, this is definitely not for everybody, but if it's something you want to do, it's worth it. Woohoo! There we go. Let's grab my box so you see it fits right down in there. And then for these outside tabs, you can either snip them off, or you can fold them in on themselves and glue them down, fold them over like this. I usually fold them over and then come back with the box knife and cut them off. So see, so we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots, and 4. And if you're making your journals narrow, you can use all 5 of these. Mine didn't fit, but that's, you know, that's up to you what you put them on. So I think, given all the struggles that we've had, and that I've had you here forever, I am gonna call this, and then I'll do my trimming off camera. And I guess I should show you once again. Hopefully this will go through more easily this time. You just slide your journals into the slots. Oh, yeah, much easier. And then they all hang down box, just like that. And eventually, when you get it all decorated, it'll look like this one. pretty papers. So, once again, thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, please do put them in the oh, I forget what it's called. Is in the suggestion box below. No, down below the video, comments, in the comments section. There we go. Sorry, I got myself all flustered now since I struggled so much with that. And I'll be happy to do my best to answer them for you. And I thank you for joining me today. I hope you'll join me again in the future. And for now, I will say bye-bye.